Hello, retro fans. Well, I'm actually a little bit disturbed by many things, and while I was searching for something in my retro boxes, I came along a small package I have received at least a year ago, and never really found the time or the mood to do something with it. And this is a little bit related with the Russian invasion in Ukraine. I sort of lost the, well, interest in shooting games. So, and it took me quite a while to, let's say, distinguish between virtual sci-fi shooter thingies and the real world thing. So, and yep, that was one of the reasons why I haven't touched the package. And well, I was simply busy with a lot of other stuff. But yep, since I couldn't find what was I'm looking for, I decided, well, okay, it's about time to have a look at it and to do something with it. And I mean, you have seen the title already. It's going to be a game. And yeah, so without further ado, let's jump to my desk and see what's going on. So, as usual, it is pretty crowded since, as I said, I'm actually in the middle of something else. I'm testing a couple of cartridge thingies, cartridge functionalities. And I was looking for an assembly kit for another cartridge, which I couldn't find, as I told you already. So I found this little box, and we are going to have a look at it. And as you can see, it's from Protovision, and therefore it's going to be very, very interesting. And yep, let's open it up. And have a look inside. So, as usual, very nice packaging. So that's really appreciable. And as usual, some sort of commercials, some flyers to cover the mess on my desk. It's looking actually pretty interesting. Okay, cool. And nice packed box wrapped in bubble foil. And some more commercial. Galeria Karstadt Kaufhof. That's going to be rare because I think they are on the brink of bankruptcy or so. So maybe in a few years' time, people will spend a lot of money for stuff like this. I highly doubt it, but anyway. And here it is, Soulforce by Sarah Jane Avory. I got it right. I really have a hard time remembering names. And yeah, as you can see, fantastic, big, shiny box. So that's really an eye-catcher if you have this in your shelf, I would say. And it is filled with so many stuff that couldn't even close, probably. So let's dig a little bit deeper and have a look inside. Ooh, what's this? Oh, that's so much things. So that's something we can build. Oh, okay. So it's a cardboard. Is it stenciled or something like this? And then we can break those part out of it, and then we can assemble this. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assembly kits for different, I would say, boats and ships and planes and Star of the Fantasy. Water wing airplane. So really, really cool. So that's really something I can do in a long, dark, snowy winter night. Unfortunately, they do not happen so often anymore, but it's probably something I can do while I have a power shortage or something like this, or outage. Nice black Soulforce sticker, or is it? I think it's called a little bit different, but well, instruction manual, and even more things to assemble. So very nice, very high quality print, and stages, in-game option screen. So this is indeed very, very detailed. Nice background graphics all over the place. It's really fantastic. So many stages. Wow, that makes me a bit nervous whether I will ever make it to the end. But well, probably just a matter of practice and maybe some perseverance. And more to assemble, as I mentioned already. And the cartridge itself, as usual, in a nice, almost velvet-like foam inlay. And the usual Protovision cartridge. So this time with a normal label, not something beveled or something like this, but no complaint. Just something I have to mention, and some air bubbles. So anyway, and as far as I've learned, this is actually a so-called Gmod cartridge or Gmod 2 cartridge. And this is some sort of a new, let's call it technology. So some next step from the Easy Flash, for example. And it is a combined thing between some ROM and some area to save some data, for example. And as I think usual for Protovision games, you get the digital package as well. And the interesting thing that caught my attention back a year ago already is that you get this as the Gmod format, you get this as a Easy Flash format, you get this as an Ocean cartridge format, and you get this as a game system cartridge format, where you have the game system is actually lacking the keyboard, and therefore you have to do some adaptation to the game. And I actually haven't checked how to store your game progress, but well, may have a look at it a little bit later. So yeah, and as I said, it's a new format, and the nice thing is that kind of comparable with the NES back then, you can store your game progress on the cartridge without attaching any floppy drives or writing down some codes or something like this, which makes this very, very comfortable. And as far as I have sort of tested the digital package already, you can even transfer your data from the cartridge to a disk and back again. So you can keep track of your progress, or you can store many different, let's say, game states. So in terms of practicing certain stages, you may just save a certain stage, and then you practice this stage until you make some progress, and then you save this one as well. But well, long story short, let's have a look at this. So I have to remove a couple of things here. Things like this. And let's have a look at the C64 itself. loud. Shouldn't be like this, so I hope it's going to be a little bit better now. And here it is, the title screen of Soulforce. And the nice thing, what we are going to, well, witness in a second, is that it has some sort of, not really an attraction mode, but it is cycling through different menus or screens. So it makes it quite, well, appealing while just waiting for you to do something. And yeah, as you can see, we have, well, as usual, a Hall of Fame, Hall of Heroes, and with some mind-blowing scores at the top. And we have an options screen, and we have indeed 3 difficulties, and this is very nice for people like me who don't have that much time to play such games. And if you are a fan of, for example, the Tech 2 joysticks, they do not have any auto fire built in or something like this. You can simply switch it on, and that's going to be very, very healthy for my, well, aged thumb, so to say. And well, you got volume, you got music, you got a data menu. That's what I have mentioned already. You can load from disk, you can save back to disk, and you can do a factory reset if you want to get rid of the stored game states on your cartridge. And then, well, indeed, we can start the game as well. So let's have a look. And it is very nice because there's a lot of sort of interaction. So they're telling you about the background and the story and what's going to be your mission. And then you have some nice loading screens, which aren't really, well, required because there are actually no loading times. But, well, they add to the whole scheme of the game. And then, well, it is going on. It's an horizontal shooter, and the first level, they look a little bit, let's say, brownish, but this is going to change quite soon, depending on your progress, I have to admit. And as common for those type of shooters, you really have to learn the patterns so that you are aware of when something is approaching you. And the nice thing is you have different power-ups. So you have on the top of the screen, on the top left hand corner, you have this little bar above the ship symbol, which is actually showing you how, well, how much your weapon system is upgraded. And you got shields, you got invincibility, and you got some smart bombs, which sometimes appear in pretty strange locations, but well, I'm not going to complain about this too much. And yeah, and the nice thing is that in opposition to other games, if you get hit and you may lose a ship, just barely made it through it, you're not going to lose your weapon upgrades completely. You just got a setback of one, I don't know what we want to call this, one level of weapon upgrade, and therefore it is still possible to continue compared to other games. As I said, it is not so usual, and if you have played R-Type, for example, or Nemesis Katakis, then you know it is very, very frustrating to progress without any upgrades. And save to disk, it's interesting. Disk error, yeah. Would have been surprising. So actually I'm not sure if it is saving my progress automatically. Interesting question. Yeah, and what I have seen so far, you have two types of weapons. So these parallel lasers, whatever you want to call them, and some spreaded version as well. And it is up to you to decide whether you pick up this certain power up or if you maybe just go and go for the spread shot, for example, because in some areas of the game it makes more sense to go by this. And yeah, so you have to pay some attention to the power-ups as well. So you're not going to just pick up everything that comes around. And this adds some sort of strategic elements to the game as well. And yep, that's really one thing. So I'm going to ignore this one because I like this spread shot a bit more most of the time. There are some, let's say, waves approaching you in later levels where it makes sense to go for the parallel shot option because it has simply more, let's say, power in front of you, because it's not splitted or maybe it's not distributed far further away from you, and sometimes it is simply required to I haven't paid attention to the power up. Anyway, and what's really mind-blowing for a C64 game, and I really have to mention this and I really have to emphasize this, is this parallax scrolling. Just look at the background. It is so fantastic how much layers we have here, and it is very, very unique, I have to say. And well, maybe not unique, it is already a bit common for games from Sarah. But yeah, it is indeed outstanding, and compared to older C64 games, it is very nice to see and adds a lot of, let's say, depth to the graphics or to the appearance of the game. So, yep, next loading screen. And I'm quite happy that I made it to the next world, so to say. That's the water world whatsoever. And even here we can see this nice parallax scrolling reaching from the sea to the sky. And it looks a little bit choppy because I got some issues with my capturing setup right now. The OBS Studio is sort of refusing to sync to my C64 input, and therefore the frame rate is a little bit well, not as nice as I want to have it. But is there some sort of a pause option? oh I have to pay attention to the game. So there are actually no warnings if something is approaching you from behind or below. So as I said, there's a lot of learning required so that you keep track of all those things coming at you. But that's actually quite common in this genre, I would say. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not really good at it, because usually I do not have that much time playing those games over and over again until I recognize or until I remember all those patterns. But yeah, the nice thing is that we got the difficulty set to easy, so we really make it quite easy through the waves, and you can feel a real difference because especially the middle and end bosses they do not require so many hits to actually break apart. So you really go through this. And that's actually a new weapon. So let's test this one. Not sure whether I make myself a really favorite. But yeah, for the sake of science, so to say. Oh, and the next final boss. I have no idea where to hit it. I think we have to destroy the weapon first. Oh, now it's going to be a bit aggressive. But well, as I said, we are playing it easy, and therefore it is actually a bit easier. Let me switch to full screen. I think it's going to be a bit more smooth then. Now we are underwater. So as you can see, there's a broad variety of environments. And I already made it to 5 lives. So every 50,000 points you're awarded with a new life, a new ship, whatever we want to call this. And this is very, very comfortable for my level, because there is indeed a chance that I ever going to see some later levels. And well, it is actually a bit busy, I have to say, I have to admit. But yeah, parallax scrolling at its best again. And I really like how the overall feeling or the overall scheme changes. So the mix of colors, which is indeed a bit limited for the C64 compared, for example, with the NES. But even there, the world isn't perfect. But it is very, very wise used here, and it really adds to the feeling or the overall presentation of the game. So I'm running out a little bit of context, because I haven't expected to make that much progress, I have to admit. But well, yeah, let's keep going. I mean, it's very nice to see myself making such a quite acceptable gameplay, I think. Let's see how this is going to work in this level. Which was probably not a good decision, because we are approaching the final boss, which may require a bit more power in front of us. I have no idea what's going to be. I got hit. I got hit by it. And here we can see I haven't lost all of my weapon upgrades, so it is actually still manageable. I can't hit those missiles. Now I'm learning. So this one is already a bit more challenging than the other ones, I have to say. But well, I made it. More a matter of luck than really skill. So I have actually no idea whether it is really saving something, or it is actually going to get lost. I don't know. So, Well, yeah, if you are using Pi 1541 or SD to IC or a real floppy drive, then you are indeed able to save your progress to the disk. And I've tested this a little bit back then, a year ago, and I was using a couple of different disk images. So one image to keep my furthest progress, so to say, and one image to save a certain stage to it, so that I can practice those specific stage, for example. And this is actually really comfortable. And on the Pi 1541 you can easily change disk images, and this makes it very comfortable. But I thought there was a way to save to the cartridge as well. Oh, that was quick. Ah, okay, now that's something else. I don't know what happened. Weird, indeed. So, well, if you write down the passwords, you can start at this position as well. That's actually a good way to capture the progress as well. So... Oh! I was going to say, I assume things are going to get harder level by level, and there's probably a natural limit for me. And I haven't seen those levels before, so so much about practicing the game. Anyway, and oh, we got a new weapon. It keeps impressing me more and more. Even if the parallax scrolling has been a bit reduced here, but I think that's due to the increased busyness. Probably, I don't know. Or it just didn't fit into the environment. So many things. And I really like the music. It's something that adds very well to the game. And as we have seen in the option menu, you got a chance to listen to all those tracks out of the game as well. Oh, I missed the power up. And another one. At least missiles I can shoot at. Oh, nice colors. Oh! Caught me by surprise, I have to admit. Oops. Middle, okay. Oh, made it. Phew, that was close. And it looks like the weapon bar has some sort of expanded, so maybe we are able to upgrade the weapon to even more powerful things. Oh, cave, sort of. Oh, very nice, very nice. Look at this. Parallax scrolling with some sort of look-through balls. Shield, very nice. No. Ah! I hit those stalactites, I think. Oh, okay, things get a bit more challenging now. Almost no... Ooh, that was close. No space to operate. Hoopa. Okay. And yeah, I'm still a bit distracted. Oh, what's this? Ah, this again. Okay. By the background. So it's actually a little bit tricky to focus. Oh! No way. Come on. Oh. Just imagine playing this on hard. Man, that would be insane. Barely made it through this. So, yeah. If you are in doubt whether this is really something that keeps you busy for a while, I think it is. Oh! Ah! Got a bit too low. Hit the stalagmite, I think. I'm not sure whether the pronunciation is correct, but I think term at least matches. And yeah. Oh, next boss. Ooh, okay. Creativity. Oh, man. Ah, trying to hit and not getting hit. That's game over. Well, finally. And oh, 5th place. Impressive. As I said, the top score is indeed mind-blowing. That's something I will probably never reach, but anyway. So, what happens when you press continue? Load from card, load from disk, load from card. So probably we are starting with the beginning of the last level we haven't finished, so to say. That's cool. So, well, you have to play a bit strategically so that not entering the next level. Oh, come on. Anyway, it's just a test. Just testing. So that you're not going to enter the level with just 1 life left or something like this. But yeah, cool. That's really, really nice. And yep, so much about, well, not as short as planned, but we even continue with the score we had at this point. That's cool. Okay. Very nice indeed. So, yeah, as I said, it's meant to be a shorty, not going to make this any longer. And can't find the right button right now. There we go. And as I said, I'm working on a couple of other things. As soon as I get this sorted, I will update you on the progress. And in the meantime, if you haven't bought this game already, I highly recommend this, either as a physical version. I'm not even sure whether it is still available, but at least as a digital package, just to support Sarah creating such awesome games. And yeah, for your own pleasure as well. And in the meantime, just as usual, please feel free to do all this YouTube stuff, like subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It's going to help me as well. And therefore, have a nice day and see you for the next episode. Bye bye.